Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
With a nasty temperament. Ice, well, his watch is working as well as ours. No, there it is.
Got your attention?
Damn! What is the biggest ick?
People like wrestling.
You can suck my fucking dick!
And there it is.
And just like that, we're back. It's Thursday night. It's Thursday night. Sweet Chin Music, Boston Chris, Papa Wheelie. We're here to talk wrestling, and our buddy Boston Chris, he's got some experience now.
That's
How
right.
you doing, fellas?
Doing great, doing great. You know it's Thursday night when you hear the lewdest intro in all of YouTube. You know where you are. You know what you're watching. But yeah, no, it's been a good time. I've actually had a pretty good couple weeks.
Yeah. So Boston, for those who don't know, you went to Monday Night Raw on like the 11th.
Yeah. So
And
week
this Wednesday, the 19th,
Yep.
you went to a special 3-hour Dynamite.
That's right.
AEW.
How's that for luck too? Like both shows, I had no idea that they were going to be special at all, and I ended up getting to see Cena's last match in Boston, and then and the intention was just to take my daughter to Raw, like because she had never been. I was like, all right, I'm going to take her to Raw. Had no idea that was like what was on the schedule, so I was like, oh wow, okay, this so makes sense.
And
He
won the Intercontinental title.
Yes, and so like. It was so fun for the fact that it was fun just to be there. I haven't been to a WWE show in years and years, and I mean an actual proper main roster show. I went to an NXT show. I want to say maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, but I haven't been to anything since then. So and then a regular main roster show I haven't been to since maybe like 2005 or something like that. Like. I remember it was right after the Nexus split into the core, so that's how long we're talking. It was Tajiri's last match before he went back to Japan, so it was a long time ago. But
and then
my daughter,
and then AEW, you kind of last minute decisioned that one, right?
Yeah. Just because
you didn't
I
take your daughter either, did you?
No, I couldn't this time because she had school the next day. I didn't end up getting back until almost 1 a.m. So. That would have been crazy. Like if I had taken her, she would have not been able to go to school.
Was it in the same building?
No. So the Raw was in the Garden, the TD Bank North Garden, and then what's it called? The AEW was at BU. It's what's called the Agganis Arena. So if you ever end up going to any shows up here, and it says the Agganis Arena, that's the BU arena. So for Boston University hockey and basketball.
Okay.
But
so why don't you give us like a little breakdown? What was like? Maybe name a few things that you liked about each show that maybe the other one, like what made that show enjoyable in a way the other one wasn't, and then like the cons of them. We'll just kind of work our way through it. And Pop will furiously type about how he feels about you going to AEW.
Okay. So as far as the Raw show, it was a blast just because there was obviously I didn't know I was walking into Cena's last match in Boston. Like I just wasn't paying attention, so I didn't know that. So you end up hearing that it's a big deal. So now all of a sudden I bought my tickets day of, and so not because of that point, just because WWE tickets are very expensive. So I'll get that con out of the way right away. Like WWE tickets are very expensive. I literally sat 1 row away from the wall, so up nosebleeds. The arena is a good enough arena that you can pretty much see no matter what seat you're in. So it was great for that. But but it was way up there and it was very expensive. Like for me and my daughter to go and sit way up in the nosebleed like that, it was just under $200. So not what you'd expect, from my past going to shows. Like I would have expected, like for $200, I would have been like maybe like mid-level at least. But nope, not anymore. But I mean, the place itself, God, the crowd was on fire for the Raw. Like, I mean, as soon as they brought out Cena, like just everything, the roof blew off, and it was like, oh my God. And then just you know, getting I have to say, like Dominic Mysterio. So when he came out to interrupt Cena's promo, like I had always thought that they pumped in the noise, like when he's doing his promos. Oh no, that's real. Like the crowd gets nice and loud to drown him out every time he speaks. It was pretty fun. I feel like someone's gonna say something, so I just want to stop myself.
No, that's cool.
Oh, and so
I was just listening. I'm like legit excited by
it is
experience.
Great. And yeah, so getting my daughter in, you know, we finally got in, and she got to sit down, and she was just like, you know, she didn't know, you know, much of what else is going on. So, you know, we sit down, and then Triple H comes out, and I was like, oh, Triple H is here, and she's like, who's he? I was like, oh, he like runs everything now. He's like the guy that, like, you know, puts all the events together and stuff. And she's like, okay. And so she was like, you know, she was excited for that, but then she was really excited before the show started. There were a bunch of people just, you know, randomly yelling and stuff, because, you know, we all have ADHD up here. So people just woo and this and that. And so people are wooing and everything, right? So then there was one moment where it got really quiet, and she just goes, woo, like, you know, just doing it because everyone else is doing it. And the whole crowd just all wooed with her. And she was like, oh. So it was like, for her, it was like every moment, like in the beginning of that show, every moment was just like a big deal. So I'm like, all right, so here comes John Cena. She knows who he is, so she's screaming and yelling and everything like that. And then, you know, Dominic Mysterio comes out, and she's like, Daddy, who's he? And I'm like, oh, it's like he's, you know, he's the bad guy in all this and everything like that. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, I don't know if I like him. I was like, not many people do. And then so like when they made a title match, I was like, Allie, he's gonna wrestle him for his belt now. And she's like, what? I was like, oh yeah, it's a title match now. And she's just like, he can be the champion. I was like, if he wins, he can be the champion. I was like, if Cena wins, he can beat that guy for a championship. And then so we're watching it, and you know, we get to the point where now, you know, the match is pretty well going on, and like, you know, enjoyed that match thoroughly. It was fun, like to see Cena give that nod to Eddie, where, like, you know, he threw the chair, and then they both fall down, and he looks at Dom, and he like winked at him. And then Dom just got up and was like, what? You know, that was fun. So he goes ahead and he hits it, you know, actually hits the finish on it and everything. And the place lost its mind. She was so excited and just, you know, just lost her head, and everything was crazy. It was funny because they put a couple of I think it was a couple of matches for main event before that. So funny enough, Grande Americano and his boys come out. And so she saw them cheat, like he, you know, he hit somebody with that like loaded headbutt or whatever like that. And like my daughter's face just, Daddy, what did he just do? I was like, oh, he cheated. She's like, he can't do that. He's not supposed to do that. And I'm like, she was so angry that the guy cheated to win. And then the New Day came out, and I have a running feud with Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, and I was too high up to yell Grinch at him. So like what I do is on his up down channel.
You had talked about this last week, I think, right?
Oh, dude, like if you watch the last couple, if you watch like the shows that I'm in the chat and I'm calling him Grinch, if you watch it, he yells at me and he interacts with me and everything. He actually made fun of me. He's like, I told him, I was like, we were too high up to yell Grinch at you. I was like, but I just wanted to thank you for being part of my daughter's first experience and this and that. And he said to me, he's like, it wasn't that you were too high up. You just don't have the lung capacity to go ahead and do that. The stamina to make it happen. You need to work on that. I was like, oh wow. Like so me and Austin Creed have this little back and forth thing, like that's been going on for a little while, and it's just fun to you know, give him a hard time. Trying to think what else, so I'm not rambling so much more. So there was a lot of good cameos and stuff. She got lucked out and got to see 2 title matches in her very first ever show. You know, she got to see Jey Uso for a half a second, and that's who really I wanted her to see, just because that's her favorite wrestler is Jey Uso, and he was only out there for a little bit in that little melee dust up. And I have to say, as far as different people being over, I had no idea how over Rhea Ripley really is in person. My God. like that woman commands the crowd just by looking at them. Like she doesn't do anything else. Like she literally, the crowd was done. Like the show was over. She had said the War Games. They've gone off the air, and all she did was just go like this, and the whole the roof came off again. Like Cena won the title again. It was unbelievable. Like apparently, like we love Rhea Ripley to an extent that I haven't seen in a long time. I was like, wow, this woman is so popular. It's unbelievable. So. Now
with tell all us that about AEW. We heard about your Raw.
Yeah. So week. AEW. Yep. AEW.
Was there anything about AEW that you would have liked better than?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. So number one, my initial con with the WWE. My God, for an AEW ticket, what I pay. So for one ticket, I paid $80, and basically that was the cost of the ticket. Single ticket in WWE was like $80. Some just sit way up wherever. For $80, I was on the floor, like on the actual floor, like right where they come down and everything. Like the stage is right behind me. So price point wise, I mean, you get phenomenal seats at AEW for what you paid nosebleeds for. So that's one thing. And then walking in, so I walked into the to the Agganis Arena. And we get up to the top of the stairs, and I'm just sitting there, and I noticed that the referee Aubrey Edwards is just there talking to people. Like there's no, and she's fully approachable. You can walk right up to her. There's people having her sign things. She's taking pictures of people. I'm like, and so at first I was like, what's this all about? And I was like, you know what? I was like, when else am I going to see her? So I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll take a picture with her. So I got a picture with her. I actually got a picture. I had like a 5-minute conversation with her about wrestling, and told her about bringing Allie to Raw and everything like that. And she's like, oh, this is great. Like, and she was talking about the group, the heels thing that she has, and like helps to get people up. I was like, yeah, I was like up to speed on wrestling and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, it's actually not a bad thing. I was like, my daughter's new to all this, so yeah, like I would have loved to have taken her, but she had school and all the rest. So the show itself was really fun. They are, I think, a little bit more interactive in the fact that like it's more of that old school interaction that you have, like where if you go to like a house show, like house shows WWE, they'll do the thing where they clap and everything and try to get the crowd into it. They weren't really doing that much. Like the WWE is more conscious of what is being shown on television, whereas AEW is just like, no, this is like a regular wrestler. Like we need you to get into this. Like please, get in and do and be excited. They brought into the crowd. Was it the entrance like happened to take place? Moxley came like super close. They brawled in the crowd with Orange Cassidy and stuff like that, like right next to me. Like they really do their best to I would say put on a show that like really gives you a lot of memories within what they do, and they have some very, very good matches that like AEW, going to an AEW live show is not a bad thing. AEW is actually very, very good, I would say, for just bringing someone to see a great show. I mean, because it's loaded with good stars. They really do their best to put out the best product they can. WWE does the same. It's just different. It's kind of like you can tell the difference in the difference in levels as far as like where they are as far as everything goes. Like WWE is kind of so high up on the list. It's like they really don't have to worry whether you had a good time or not. They're going to do what they can to make you have a good time, but it's just like they don't need to go the extra mile, and AEW will go that extra mile to make sure you have a good time. Well,
I'm glad you had a good time at both shows. Did Tony Khan come out at the end of yours?
Yes, he did. He did, and the crowd.
Does that, I think, at all the shows.
The crowd chanted throughout the night. They kept chanting. Justin Roberts come out and say, "Hey, how's everything going?" And people was screaming pay-per-view. I guess us Bostonites really, really, really want a pay-per-view, and they wouldn't stop yelling at him. And then so Tony Khan's like, "I'm working on it. I promise you, we want to work this," because I guess we were the second city that they ever worked at. So second show we ever did was up here, and you guys are so great. And from that point on, it's like we've been working on trying to get you a pay-per-view show. So hopefully in the next couple of years, they'll have a pay-per-view up there, and I will definitely try to get tickets to go. It was a great time.
Well, thanks for sharing, man. Pop, what do you got?
The tickets are so cheap because they suck. Let's be honest for you, LOL.
There we go.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to say about this, and I'm not mad at you, but I am going to say this. You have to, I mean, by that logic, right? then Fountain City must be the worst of the worst because it's a cheap seat. But you can't tell me, and you can't convince me from the pitches I've seen and everybody's reaction and the group that they get to go and everything that is not a phenomenal wrestling experience. You got to get over this, man. Wrestling's in a great spot right now, and whether you like one company or another, because you have blind loyalty to WWE. What does the WWE do for you? Nothing really. They just put out a product. And honestly, I really do hope that AEW gets bigger and is able to be around more. But in the meantime,
Pop doesn't like AEW, Chris. It's
you can say Chris. He's always going to be a hater.
Hey, Biggie, what's up, homie?
What up, man?
Well,
Hey,
I
it's not
hope you
much.
guys are
I
doing
didn't-
good, but D's waited long enough. D, what did you think about Monday Night Raw this week? Madison Square Garden.
All right, let me give you a couple things here. So, firstly, I've been having work issues tonight, so I may have to jump off quickly to take a work call because I'm streaming on my phone. So that's out of the way. Secondly, the Raw was incredible. The end of the show left me just wanting more, and I was so excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. I don't know. It's interesting when Brock and Roman come out, the two current champions of the company kind of have to take a back seat, and
absolutely,
it just shows how big they are. But I hope that they give both those champions the time to shine over those two people that are very much still part-time.
Yes.
But it's still interesting, and I don't usually say this, but I really hope that the heels get over on this one. Drew McIntyre joined their team. Man, they got to give that dude a W somewhere, and I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against my favorite wrestler or if it's against my mom, God rest her soul. Drew McIntyre needs a fucking win.
Yeah.
So
the fans are ready for it. I feel like he's really gotten over. I mean, he had a bit of a problem 2 years ago, a year ago, and he rehabbed it. People like the smart ass Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, no, he sounds like a disgruntled wrestling fan sometimes, but not the whiny one, but the one that has a legitimate gripe. I've been really on Drew McIntyre lately. But then I know I'm not the host, so I don't get to ask questions, but I'm still going to ask a question. So, Pop, I know you have your preferences when it comes to wrestling companies, but I would like to hear if you had a critique on WWE of something that they need to be doing better, that they're not hitting the mark on. What would you say that is? And we'll give you time to get your answer out there. Because a lot of times, and I'm not trying to be funny when I say that, because I think there are a lot of times where we're like, oh, that sucked, and you're like, oh, it's good, and I would want to know, what do you see on WWE that makes you go, damn it, they got to do better than that?
Yeah,
and that's not even to be confrontational or anything. I know you got something, so I'd love to hear what
he wants. More commercials and a longer show,
and
much more women's matches.
Yeah, no, and with no nudity though. We can't have. We got to have better censors. Can't have titties popping out like that. That would be bad.
that happened
every damn match.
Apparently, Nia Jax she just wouldn't be contained in Boston. She felt I guess they had to cut the because I'm in the arena. So I heard a couple of cheers that were real loud. I'm like, what the hell? And then people say, oh, they cut away 4 times. This woman kept falling out of her shirt. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't see that from where I was at. But
I was going to say absolutely nothing. It's perfect.
No, I know Pop's better than that. I like Triple H. I think when Triple H is not booking for himself and he's not getting wildly interfered with by the TKO board and The Rock, because The Rock had a lot of meddling to do with WrestleMania last year.
Yes.
And the storylines leading up to WrestleMania. When you get all those motherfuckers off of him and Triple H gets to cook, I like that.
I don't know. I feel like the last several months, even WrestleMania, everything's been kind of boring. And let's be honest, they botched the Cena heel turn.
Absolutely.
It wasn't good. It was awkward.
It started out so good. It started out like his turn promo was amazing. Like when you say that,
the promo was amazing. Good, but everything else about it, and Travis Scott, and I get it. That was The Rock. You can't.
Yeah. You had a couple promos.
But at the same time, here's the thing: Triple H, you want to put your name all over the end credits, then you got to deal with the criticism.
Yeah,
the buck stops with him.
I do like the end of Raw, how they did that little fake out where it's like, all right, here's Brock, shows over, and they put the credits up, and then only to let Roman kind of have his music and have his moment after. That's good when they I like when they do that sparingly, and they've done it well a couple times where it's like, all right, well, show's over, I guess, and that's how, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this extra thing's happening, that's cool. So like that little fake out's always fun. But yeah, I do agree with you on this. The Cena, the whole Cena retirement thing for the most part, like the heel turn, absolutely. And then the fact of, where he, just opponent selection and placement weren't necessarily the best. I mean, Logan Paul has worked the most with him. He's going to get to work with him again in War Games, which is, so for whatever reason, I think he's doing it on purpose, but Logan Paul is not going to be, he's not a full-time guy. So, I mean, you want to have the spotlight, you want to build them, that's great, but he's not a full-time guy. Like there's other people that are full-time that could have used, some time against Cena. I mean, we said, I don't know how many times, Randy Orton's placement in that whole, former foes of Cena thing was way too early, and it wasn't executed well. I mean, honestly, I still say to the, even till right now, like his final opponent should have been Randy, just because I think him and Randy have the most history, and it would have been great to see Randy take the title off of him because of the fact that, he is Randy, that their careers ran kind of parallel for a while, and why not give Randy his next title run?
Who had the best come up off of wrestling John Cena, though? Who made the most of it is the question.
From his retirement, or
just in his whole career? Who has faced John Cena and benefited the most from it?
That's kind of hard. There's a bunch of people. I mean, you could say Punk. You could say CM Punk. You could say Rob Van Dam. Edge. Edge's career absolutely exploded with Cena.
That's the one I'm picking is Edge. Y'all remember when Edge went to Cena's home and smacked the piss out of his dad? That was the best comeuppance.
God,
I mean, like a lot, and that's why it's kind of a legitimate ask when people are like, dude, is Edge coming back to face Cena? He could come back for one of these, and it's just like, and people are like, no way. But I mean, for what Cena did for Edge's career, and the fact that on an AEW pay-per-view, he, acknowledged him and everything else, because of the fact that, Edge got to the main event through Cena. Like that was pretty much it. Like he solidified him in that position of being the main event guy. But as far
I'm just going to say it now, I think it is Edge. I'm going to say Edge is coming back, because I didn't say that Matt Cardona and Ziggler was coming back, but I want them to. So I want Edge to come back, so I'm going to say he's coming back this time.
Not counting on old school wrestlers. LA Knight needs to get his push finally. Asuka needs to go away, I hate her.
Wow.
There's more, I'm just drawing a blank.
I don't think Asuka's going anywhere because she's very, very good. And what she does well is that she's good. She's a good wrestler. She's consistent, and she's able to be either a versatile babyface to get wins and stuff like that. And she's also a great heel that can take losses and be menacing. So she ain't going nowhere. She's gonna be here to stay. As far as I was gonna say, for Cena though too. I mean, like a lot of the criticism on him is that he's buried a lot, and he's done his share of burying people here and there, and like he buried the Nexus, and people still give him shit about that all these years later. But I mean, he also has done a lot to put people over and get even so much as even Dom. Like Dom Mysterio losing the title has come out so much better on the other end of it that he's going to, you know, like he's getting that elevated spot. And a lot of people actually, like him and a lot of other people, have praised Dom a lot and said, you know, he's so new into his career that it's just like, for him to be facing a guy like Cena at this point is phenomenal. And like saying like he's going to be the future of the company, like he's going to be a big part of that company going forward. And he's still got so much more growing to do. So like that I have to say, like you know, Cena himself, I think, has done a good job of trying to get people, especially on his way out, trying to give people the boosts that they need to help them move forward.
Well, and like on his way out, like, and I'm not just talking about his retirement tour, but I'm talking about his last like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
He put over 2 people that had just fallen down the card, and them going over on him. So Austin Theory and Solo Sikoa, neither one of them benefited by getting a win over Cena. But to me, like, and this is my opinion of Cena, and it's over his entire career, right? When they decided to give him the push, I don't think the fans wanted it. And Vince McMahon did a bad thing, in my opinion. He stayed with it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it got to a point where he was so hated by the fans, they had him wrestle Britney Spears' husband, Kevin Federline, who was like the most like piece of shit person in America, just to try and like have someone you could hate more than Cena. And I don't know. I never got behind Cena. I hate hearing him be called the greatest of all time. That's a slap in the face to Hulk Hogan. It's a slap in the face to The Undertaker, to Shawn Michaels. Like he's not even on the Mount Rushmore, in my opinion. He still had a great career and was one of their biggest stars during one of their least popular eras. But yeah, no, I'm just, and on his way out, I have appreciated him. I don't hate him now. When he comes out, it's exciting, and he's been like on my TV for, you know, a long time now. So I'm not against him, but when he was initially getting his push, man, I just got sick of him quick.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that. It took a long time for me to kind of you know, get past. And actually, it was when he was gone for a long time that it was, you know, kind of fun to see him back. But like, no, the whole like Super Cena era was very annoying. Whereas like he would beat everybody, though, you know, and like that's what the 5 moves of doom thing, because he would literally get a beaten and then beat somebody in 5 moves every time.
Well, and don't you think a lot of the CM Punk, like the initial CM Punk popularity, came out of a response to how fatigued a lot of fans were to John Cena?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if people tell me Becky hasn't done so much for the IC title, they need their FN head examined. So proud of Maxine winning it on Monday.
Well, I mean, Becky Lynch really doesn't need that title. That's why you can have her drop it to Maxine.
Becky Lynch just looks painfully thin to me at this point.
Yeah, she's definitely thin. But I will say that, like, you know, I mean, like she got that title just to get it type thing, you know, and then she had it, and then she's able to drop it to somebody else to get into bigger feuds. I mean, it makes sense. You know, I mean, it's I mean, for her, it's a great problem to have. It's like, yeah, I have this title I don't even need, that I can basically use to elevate somebody else. Now, is Maxine Dupree gonna, you know, take it, you know, and hold it for a long time? Probably not. She's probably gonna lose it within the next 2 pay-per-views, just because. And but for somebody who's never held a title before, that's huge. That's great. And on top of that, she did it in New York City. You know what I mean? Like winning at Madison Square Garden is one of the most special things you can do. So good for Maxine for getting her first title in you know, like the most hallowed place you can for WWE. So I give her credit for that.
Now, I love Becky Lynch. I'm a big fan of hers. But I'll tell you that the WWE, in my opinion, has mismanaged her career since she came back from having her first kid. When she came back at SummerSlam that year, they were doing a lot to try and like AEW was kind of creeping on them a tiny bit, not in a giant way. They weren't a huge threat, but it was to the point where WWE needed to start doing a few things because AEW had just brought in CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, and like they were starting to gain a little bit of traction, and they brought her back as a heel, and it was so bad. And not that she is still a good heel, but the crowd wants to love her. Ever since Nia Jax broke her nose on Monday Night Raw and she stood strong and was tough as hell, they just loved her for it. And they needed to keep her as that, I don't care how big I am, I'm going to mess you up type of chick. Yeah. And then they made her a heel that was a coward sometimes. And, you know, I hate when someone's bravado fades with their heel turn. You know, that to me always looks like a bad heel turn. Like they did it with Stone Cold Steve Austin too, when he had his heel turn. Then he started like tapping out when the referee wasn't looking because, you know, the referee was knocked out and he would avoid the fight. Like, dude, Stone Cold should have just been badass no matter what. Whether he's a heel or a face, he should just want to come out there and whoop your ass. Like, and so that the Becky Lynch heel turn, and she's a heel again, and I don't like her as a heel. Like I prefer her as a face that is going to come out there and fight no matter what.
Well, I'm curious, like I mean, how, because I know how I see it. You know, and that whole time that you're talking about, like when she came back from having the kid and everything like that, and you know, made her a heel. It seemed, I guess my biggest criticism with that is that it seems really, really forced. Like she's forcing herself to say some of these things, and it's just like she doesn't get the right heat. It's not like oh, we don't like you type heat. It's just like we don't like this type heat. And I think they're missing that mark where it's just like there's a difference between people that, you know, just get over because it's like it's fun to boo them type thing versus like, yeah, we are rejecting this and we don't want this. And I think, you know, I mean, obviously they know the difference. They just want you to like be like, oh, well, there's no way that you guys understand what's going on. It's like, no, like there's legitimate hatred towards certain things, you know, and that's one of them. It's just like her, like the whole thing when AJ Lee came back and she was scared of AJ. It's like, are you serious? Like, she's gonna be scared of AJ? Why? Why should you be scared of AJ? Like, you haven't wrestled in however many years. It's just like, if anything, you should be rusty. It should be like, dude, I'm gonna tie you in knots. You haven't done this in so much time. You know, and then similar thing with you know, somebody else was like real cowardly for no reason, and it went against their whole character. It's like, you know, and it just like I'm drawing a blank on who else I saw do it like recently, and it was really stupid. And it was just like, you know, there's no reason for that. I mean, even the way that she came out at WrestleMania being, you know, what's it called, Lara Valkyrie's tag team partner, and they, you know, and yeah, only to turn on her the next night. It's like, why? Like, what did she do to you? I don't understand. Like, where's the anger coming from? And they're like, oh, like, well, she jumped Bailey and this and like they're trying to make this whole big. And it was like so convoluted that they ended up giving up on it real quick. It was like, this doesn't make much sense. This is stupid. And now Bailey, I guess, is kind of like schizophrenic, playing that kind of character where she's good and bad, and she's just depressed and doesn't know how to. It's like you've kind of ruined three characters with one really bad heel turn. Like that's the way I look at it when it comes to, you know, how they handled Becky Lynch's return.
My Mount Rushmore is Hulk, Rock, Austin, Cena, D.
I mean, that's cool.
Who the hell is D?
Me.
Oh, he's talking to D. I thought he put D on him Rushmore.
Well, I mean, you gotta
think about
it. Like, you know, D's put in a lot of work on the Hunt being a host. Like, I mean, he should be on some Rushmores. You know, he deserves a spot. Thank you for being so nice, Papa.
You got anything, Becker? What's your opinion on all this shit going on?
Honestly, I'm not feeling a lot of what WWE does. The Cena stuff's, you know, the crowds are saying goodbye to him. That's cool. It's electric.
Yeah.
I thought Monday night's show was very good. It was more exciting. The last 2 weeks have been better than it's been. But I'll agree with star power, but for me lately, I'm enjoying AEW a little more in their pacing and the amount of matches I get. I just wish they meant a little more. I wish the storyline was a bit more there. But and honestly, I wish some of their matches didn't go so long.
I have to ask, you know, just you specifically, because you're saying the last 2 weeks have been very good. I have to wonder now, just because I you know, really, I think what made them so good and so big the last 2 weeks specifically is unpredictability. You had
unpredictability and the crowds. Boston and New York both saying goodbye to John Cena was great.
Yeah, but the thing that's now here's the problem: is it sustainable? Is it like no? Obviously,
no. We know it's not. And when they don't have something fall in their lap like a John Cena retirement tour that lasts a year. I mean, even with that, they dropped the ball a lot. They mishandled. Yeah. I don't think the booking is as good as some people want to believe it is.
Yeah, well, the reason I say that is just because I mean, once you get past War Games and you get past, you know, once Cena is gone, like, what is War Games building that you're gonna go forward with? Like I mean, because really, this is where you start looking at, okay, Road to WrestleMania starts basically what, Royal Rumble, but you could even say finally from basically Survivor Series on, it's Road to WrestleMania from that point going. What are you building? Like, I mean, because usually going towards like Royal Rumble, you can kind of see like, okay, this is where they're going with WrestleMania. We really have no idea. I mean, I'm sure they're going to try to shoehorn something in with Roman and CM Punk for a WrestleMania match. Which, I mean, if you're going to be honest about it, you would look at it and say, okay, well, Punk's going to win because he's the guy that's going to be still there. Like there's, I mean, if you take the title off of him to give it to Roman, that's a mistake. You know, now does that mean that they won't do something crazy like that? I mean, they could, but I'm just worried that, like, you know, part of the problem is that AEW isn't as like much of a competition as they once were. And I think that when you have that type of thing, people that WWE is starting to get complacent again because they know that they can just put out whatever and it's going to, you know, destroy these guys ratings wise. And you know, they really do need, you know, AEW to kind of step up and put on a better show than them and shake things up a little more so that they actually have a reason to, you know, book better and try to, you know, outshine the competition. Because right now, you know, I feel like they're doing a lot of things complacently because they can, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Well, one of my big critiques, and I used to like praise Triple H for this, is he used to do a lot of long-term storytelling with hints in the background and cameos, and a lot of the long-term storytelling that they've done has fizzled away and never paid off. You remember he did a long-term storytell with JD McDonough joining the Judgment Day, and that has never been anything worth watching. They did a long-term storytelling with what's his ass, the Bray Wyatt's brother. Like, that was a long-term burn, and they've done nothing with it. Then you have Austin Theory and the guy who's his tag team partner, the Australian guy.
You're talking about Grayson Waller.
Yeah, so they've been hinting at for them to break up as a tag team for almost a year.
They're done now. but
they broke up off screen. No payoff, no storyline, no advancement for either of them. Just it died off. Yeah, it died off screen, with them hinting at a turn for Theory for a long time, and then it died off screen. And so the long-term storytelling, I think, is good and effective, but you can't take it out so long that you get tired of the hints, and you can't put that much faith into something being long term, because it's a very physical environment that they're in. They're going to people will get hurt. People will not be able to fulfill, and that's what happened with Austin Theory. He got hurt, and
the Wyatts, they had injuries there too. That whole thing.
Yeah. So, but other than that, it's been great.
Cena turned down a 2-hour tribute show on his last night that Triple H wanted to do, but Cena said, "Let's do a NXT showcase."
Because he's right. Like he wants to get people in there to do, like to show these guys what's going on. Just because really, that's one thing I think that they don't use. And I was in that idea actually kind of made me question about that. Where it's like, you have this long-term booking and all the rest of it, and it's just like, would they? I feel like they would be better off, kind of having guys that you can have float between NXT and, the main roster that would do well. Like, it's like, if you got, if you have something like a Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller, originally came up from down there because he was so popular, and they brought him up. And it's like, you know what? Maybe instead of making him the New Day's manager, which, I mean, that's fine, they're doing their thing, but maybe he goes back down there for a run for a while, and then you bring up a talent that is really over down in NXT. And like, all right, we're gonna make this guy into a star up here, or at least try to. I don't think they do enough of that, utilizing of the fact that they have two brands, one developmental brand that they can just kind of filter talent back down through and let them kind of rework, or even just kind of give them a new direction down there and see if it maybe sticks up on the main roster. It's just kind of a weird dynamic that they have there, and I fully agree with Dee's assessment of the long-term booking. When you book a story so long that people forget what's actually happening, and they're not guys that are featured every single week, you just get lost in the shuffle.
So I really like Bleeker's idea of Ric Flair coming back and put another belt on him. And I also like his plan of Undertaker in a Hawaiian shirt on commentary. But you did forget that WWE legend and Hall of Famer Michelle McCool would need to be next to him.
Absolutely.
Oh,
or she could be maybe the cameraman.
I wonder if Taker would be entertaining on commentary. I wouldn't mind seeing him do it.
I don't think he would.
No,
he would have to break character, because he.
Oh, that character's been broken and destroyed.
No, but when he's on programming, he would want to be in character, and that would be very difficult with commentary. There was a time when he was back when Austin was the top face and Undertaker was the top heel, and they were kind of going back and forth a little bit. Undertaker would hop on commentary from time to time. It kind of happened a lot when he was tag teaming with Big Show. And he was not good. And it wasn't that he isn't good on the mic. It's that his character isn't set up for that. And so he would have to drop character and be something else. And I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but it would distract from who it actually is.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you see him smile, like when you watch him on his podcast, and he's like smiling, telling a story. I'm like, that's not him. That's not you.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think him and Michelle would be great announcers. Like, she would tell him what his opinion of the match is, and then he'd say it. It'd be great.
And then Bleeker says we could just put her in the Hall of Fame again. So I agree, we should do it.
Yeah, as an announcer. She's great. She's the best.
I'm curious.
I think now that everybody's starting to hate Triple H's booking, I'm going to actually say it's great because it's
I don't think it's bad. I just think that it's just one of those things.
It's better than ever, isn't it, Biggie?
Well, we did have the second best Monday Night Raw. The first one was the best. This is probably the second best. It's pretty stupid to put them in a 6-man. You could see that they're not even in control of having the ball. They're like a point guard that's like you got center skills. You know what I mean? And for them to not have Cena in a bigger spot and a bigger deal at the crescendo of it all, I feel like is a missed opportunity because they are going to miss him when he's gone. It's going to be bad.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they really don't have a story to tell once he's gone. That's the biggest issue.
But I don't want to be a party pooper. I'm going to have to get out of here. My left leg is like just throbbing and my foot's kind of swelling up a little bit. I'm going to go take a pill and put my foot up. See if I can get it to go down. You guys have a good night.
All right, man, take care.
I will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought I could get through it, but it is just, it's really bothering me right now.
Yeah.
So I will talk to you guys later.
All right.
All right, big
handle that. See you, man.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, I'm not against Triple H's booking. I do think that, really, the long-term storytelling is not a bad thing, but you can't have everybody in the long-term story. I mean, there's got to be some short stories that make sense. It's like, all right, we're going to do this just for for 3 weeks up to the pay-per-view, and then it ends the pay-per-view. Perfect. All right, great story. And then if it gets over well, then hey, maybe you revisit it. But I mean, I'm also wondering too, like what's going to be, maybe they do get a couple surprises to happen, like supposedly Jericho on his way. They just signed Joe Hendry. So
what do you guys think about? What do you guys think about Ziggle's performance? I thought it was excellent. I think that's the best solo match I've seen. Actually,
they always do a good job. He is absolutely one of the best at taking the pin and making his opponent look amazing.
Did you hear about him putting up a spot saying that he was trying to get it to where it was a disqualification and they jumped him at the end or something? Did y'all hear about him trying to change the gimmick? Solo would have won and got to advance, but it would have been because Ziggler won, but the beating they put on him was so bad he couldn't go no further, and Solo would go further. That was the
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you like my thoughts on it, and I'm not a big TNA guy. Like I don't watch TNA at all. I'll watch AEW 10 weeks in a row before I watch a TNA episode. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, I'm ashamed of TNA for allowing WWE to use their talent and not letting them ever get over. Like Matt Cardona or I'm blanking on everyone's name tonight. Zack Ryder. He could have gone over and not hurt anyone in the process. Like Ziggler, they owed a get over to him.
Absolutely.
Like, and the fact that they put out two of their biggest stars on WWE programming and they both had to lay down. Like, I didn't have a problem with Joe Hendry getting beat at Mania to Orton because we all knew that Hendry was coming to WWE eventually. Yeah. So like that was coming, but man, they both just like there's our two biggest guys, and like they couldn't even win the first round match. Like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, but they've done that for. I mean, they've. I mean, the relationship with TNA and WWE is an abusive one at anything. I mean, they TNA has really not gotten much, if anything, out of that, other than guys get to go on to WWE as surprises here and there, and that's about. But they always go out and they lose. But like every time they go out and lose. And when it came to WrestleMania, I mean, I understand. I understand Randy going over. I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world, but I understand Randy going over. It was the way he went over. I mean, it was basically a squash match. It's just like so. I mean, you don't even really get many near fall. You're gonna let your champion at the time, Joe Henry, you let your champion get squashed at wrestling like that. That absolutely destroys any credibility that you have, because it makes you guys look minor. Like no matter who they put over here, they're just bums. We can take guys take them out in 5 seconds. It's over.
Yeah, it makes the entire roster look weak.
Yeah, and the fact that they came back as, I mean, if you're gonna make them, over again. I don't understand. I mean, I get it. Like, it's fun to hear that, to hear their music and everything like that. But like, Cardona has made such a good name for himself outside of WWE. He doesn't need to go back to being Zack Ryder. But putting him back as Zack Ryder is stupid. Like let him be Matt Cardona, like the guy who like made a name for himself. Like I mean, he's one of the most grassroots wrestlers that you can ever see, just because of what he did, and then everything else that he piggybacked off of. I mean, he's got all these different companies that he started himself, using the internet to build him up. Like he deserves to be just straight Matt Cardona. I don't need any gimmicks. I'm just going to be who I am. Same with Dolph. He doesn't need to be Dolph Ziggler. I mean, you could say that, people know him as Dolph, but it doesn't matter. Like people know who Matt Cardona is. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and if they were going to not go over, like at least keep them on their current TNA name, so that the name recognition sticks to that company. When you just do Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler and they both get beat, like, man, you really, I don't know. I didn't like. I was excited I was excited for both returns. Yes. They both surprised me, but I was still disappointed in how they executed it both times.
That also gives you a little bit of a glimpse into the future. If both guys were to come back to WWE, they're both going to be their old gimmicks again. Like they will never be Matt Cardona and Nick Nemeth.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I don't think WWE would do it. I mean, because
those are the kind of guys you give an inch, they take a mile. So I think if they get any time, I think they're going to really do some. They did. I mean, I feel like Ziggler's match was probably the best match on the card. Like you didn't know who's going to win that if you was watching it. You thought he had a chance.
Performance-wise, they'll do a good job. But I mean, is that but if Matt Cardona goes back, he's not going to be Matt Cardona. He's going to be Zack Ryder.
He's stuck as Zack Ryder. He said he wasn't even going to ever do that. He said he'd puke if that ever happened, and here he is. I don't think they get much of a fucking opportunity. I don't think they get much of a choice. Like, do you want to come back to the league, or do you want to fucking sit down here? Like that's about it.
Yeah. I'd be surprised like what kind of freedom they do have in that spot where it's like, we'll put you on SmackDown, but you have to be your own character. They're probably like, what another dude? I don't mind. On NXT he was Cardona though. You know what I mean? So it's just that's like, cool. Yeah, it's just I guess it's just like just politics for that. And you're coming back onto the product again. Why not? But I also feel like I would like to see. I feel like Zack Ryder was him in his beginning phase and everything like that, but he's evolved into Matt Cardona now. Like that's how he should be known going forward. But you never know. It's just it's kind of a weird situation to have that, and ultimately, what are the rules going to be going forward? We don't really know.
Well, that's about all I had for this week. I don't know if y'all got any more.
I mean, I don't know. You have anything else, Papa? Because I mean, I feel like we covered a bunch of stuff. I mean, I don't really know too much more other than just little bits and pieces of news. Like Joe Henry officially signed with WWE, so he's going to be on NXT at some point. Probably going to get fast tracked to the main roster. But I mean, the fact that they have him and can let him kind of get a little time at NXT, get really over, and then bring him up. That'd be fun. I feel like he's somebody that can go directly to main roster. I feel like he's definitely someone who could do that. I think he might do kind of like Stephanie McCurry did, where she's like, I don't want to get up there and have people just not care about me. Like let me build down here, and then when I do get up there, they're gonna be really excited to see me. So I think that's that's a smart way to do it. And I think you'll get a couple of call-ups that come up too. Like you get, maybe Ethan Page gets a call up, and then maybe, Ricky Saints also gets a call up, just so they can kind of do that thing where they, either leading into or post WrestleMania, they kind of bring up some of the NXT guys to help fill in rosters for people that are moving on or might have gotten injured.
You got anything, dude?
No, man. I've gotten it all off my chest tonight.
Got it off your chest? I want to say that I'm usually pretty hard on Triple H, but I've been saying this for a little while. Is like the new gimmick is losing. So whenever people lose, people get behind him and rally. They're like, "Oh, this guy's losing a lot. He's better than that." You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind that they started off with losses. The main thing is that he finally got two really dope indie guys in, and I'm really happy that happened. So good for Triple H or whoever the fuck. I gotta give them credit when they do something I like. So besides that, you're fucking the Cena thing up, but everything else is cool.
Hey, listen, like, it's easier to critique someone than it is to praise them. I do think Triple H is doing a lot better job than Vince McMahon did in the last 5 years of him being in charge of booking. No, I didn't say forever. I didn't say forever, but the last 5 years.
You said 5 years in one fucking year?
No, I'm comparing like to what Vince did over the last 5 years of his time with WWE. I think he fell asleep at the wheel. He stopped being in touch with the crowd. He was responsible for putting both titles on Roman Reigns, who's a part-time guy, and so neither show had a world champion. I thought that was such a detriment to the entire WWE, and it hurt the business a lot, in my opinion. And I'm glad Vince isn't there anymore, and I am excited to have a different person running it. And no matter who is booking it, we can always find things that we don't like about it. It's booking for a pretend story. We can always critique it. We can always pick it apart. But for the most part, I have enjoyed WWE more now than I did when Vince was running it over the last 5 years of his time.
Okay.
I can agree with that. Because the hottest part with all of that was that it was clear that Vince was really booking for an audience of one. He really didn't care what came across. He was just like, you're just gonna, they'll watch it no matter what. And I mean, to an extent, you kind of have to. I look at it like this.
He had a chokehold on the competition. I definitely take.
They're doing all this. It's not working out. I don't understand why they keep doing this thing. And it's just like, the truth of the matter is that if you keep watching and you keep buying tickets and everything else, they're going to keep doing because as far as they're concerned, the money's still coming in. So why do we care what you say? You can complain all day, but everybody else loves it. So, and the thing is that Vince kind of had a little bit of a weird way about things with the titles, where he would put it on a part-timer and then just no title. Like same thing he did with Brock. Like Brock held the title for an entire year, and I think Raw had no champion for a whole year, which was ridiculous. It's like, so and then that helped SmackDown kind of get over and become more popular, because it's like there's no title on. I mean, the title only gets defended at pay-per-views. Every other time that there's no world champion, it just doesn't exist. So that is really kind of the breath of fresh air that Triple H brings in, is that it's not Vince. And some things, there's been a lot more to talk about as far as good than bad. I think that some of it is now being complacent, because the competition that they have isn't as strong as it once was, and that's because they lost CM Punk and Cody and other guys. Cody defecting really, I think, was one of the really big turning points. CM Punk was definitely it just continued on, and it really helped shit. But them bringing Cody back, in a main event role and everything, that was when AEW really kind of took a back seat. And they've been kind of stuck there, because it doesn't really matter who leaves WWE and shows up on on their show on AEW. Unless you're getting a Cody or you're getting a CM Punk, or if, like, let's say Seth Rollins, somebody showed up on AEW. Now you kind of have people talking, but the people that have left and have kind of gone over and recently they're not people that move the needle. They're not people that anybody really cares about. Andrade came back, great. Why do we care? Well, Andrade is just Andrade, you know. Yeah. You got Roman Reigns to show up on AEW TV. Well, now I'm changing the channel. Like, what the hell happened? Why is this happening here? So that's AEW's problem right now. But that is also kind of giving WWE a little bit of a I guess false sense of security that they can just we can kind of coast right now because there's nothing really we have to worry about. So,
the only reason Triple H is halfway good is because Vince taught him everything he fucking knew, and secondly, the business was never in more dire straits than it has been as of recently. They've had them up for sale so many times. I think a guy at the local gas station owns a piece of them. I know Becker owns a piece of them. There you go.
I think that Triple H definitely learned a lot from Vince, but Triple H, what a lot of people don't give him credit for, or don't, is that he's a very, very astute student of wrestling, like in the old school stuff. Like he loves wrestling to the point, like almost like Cornette. Like he knows the history, he knows all this different state. Like he really has a great mind for wrestling. So I think part of it may clash with the creative side, but he understands the wrestling part of it, all the psychology, and so in terms of that, that might be why he does some of the things he does and books some of these things into long-term stories that probably shouldn't be as much, just because he's kind of going with the stuff that he knows and being a student of it. That's why he calls himself the Game, like just because he's been a student of wrestling for basically ever, but I think I mean regardless of the ups and the downs, because you're gonna have downs when you have ups. WWE is still in good hands with him running things. I don't think they're in a bad spot.
People could there's pros and cons to everything. It's all good. Absolutely. Just because a car is made by a different distributor don't mean it don't drive fast. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
What can you do, dude? But that's about all I got. We'll skip past the promos tonight. I think the Hunt's got $100 on Saturday. Collector Club's going to be chilling and all that good stuff. We just did Superman 75. Go check that out. That was D's pick, and it was a good show, good content. So, unless any of y'all got something to say, I'm done.
No, I'm pretty much all set. Hustle Mania Saturday, so come check that out on the Hunt, and I'm ready to go. If you up, Pop.
And I'm out too.